Hey guys, Richard Bailey here. I just wanted to talk a little bit in relation to the post on recognizing depression. You'll notice I have a coffee. I drink a lot of coffee actually. But when it comes to recognizing depression, in this day and age we're a little bit more informed about mental illnesses. It's starting to be it's starting to be looked at more, and we're more aware of what's going on, signs and symptoms. But recognizing depression can sometimes be difficult because maybe we're depressed, but we're going through a certain situation or something that has happened that is adding to that depression and making the base depression worse. Or maybe we're just depressed because of a current situation or something that has happened. Now, there's things that you want to look for. There's signs and symptoms that you want to look for. If you sign up for my newsletter there, you'll get a free overview report which will go through the signs and symptoms of depression. But there are subtle things that you want to look for as well when someone's going through depression, either yourself or someone that you know. You want to kind of take a step back and look at things to see what's going on. For someone, if you're looking at someone who you think you may be depressed, you might want to go back and think about the last couple of weeks. Have they really changed a lot? What's been changing about them? Are they dressing like they really don't care, like they're just throwing some clothes on? They're not really doing anything with their hair anymore. They're wearing a hat, which I usually do. Doesn't mean that I'm depressed, but I just wear a hat rather than putting gel in my hair. But is it been consistent, and are they kind of withdrawing from you and other people? Do they seem to be doing things that are more isolated? You just want to take a look at those types of subtle changes, and if it's been going on for a while, usually the general timeline is at least 2 weeks for consecutive days. Then maybe reach out to that person and try and encourage them to talk to you about what's going on. Sometimes just talking about it can relieve a lot of the depression and the anxiety, and it kind of makes you stand up a little bit higher instead of slouching and looking down all the time. If you're going through that depression, you might want to find someone that you can talk to, someone that you trust, someone that you can talk about your feelings and emotions, and they're not just going to shrug it off and say, oh, that sucks, or get over it. Someone who will listen to you, maybe give you some feedback or some advice. And if you don't have someone like that, definitely talk to your doctor. See what's going on. Medications might be required. They may not be required. It's simple going to a therapist or a counselor and doing some talk therapy might be the only thing that's needed. But you should figure out a treatment plan once you've recognized that what you're dealing with is depression. You don't want things to get worse. The earlier you can detect it, the easier it is to treat it. If you let it go for a long period of time, the treatment can become very, very difficult. Unfortunately, that was a situation with me, and we've been having a very hard time with treatment with myself. So try and look not only for big signs and big changes that people are going through, but also step back and look at the little things that are going on. Are they isolating more? Or if you're going through it, are you isolating more? Are you doing more activities that just involve yourself and don't involve your friends anymore? Are you reading all the time, watching movies on the computer? These are all at-home activities that you're not doing with anybody else. You're just by yourself. You're not texting or calling your friends anymore to talk to them. Just things like that. Keep those types of things in the back of your mind. Sometimes just approaching a person and saying, hey, what's up? What's going on? I've noticed some changes, or I've noticed this happening. Is there anything you want to talk about? They may or may not want to talk about it at that point in time, but just showing that you cared enough to ask them what was going on may change their day, because oftentimes When you're feeling depressed, you feel worthless and useless, and you feel like people don't want you around, nobody cares about you. And just that feeling that, hey, that person cared enough to ask me about it, that makes a huge difference. So try and look and recognize the signs and symptoms of depression early on, and talk to a doctor as quickly as you can if you think that you are experiencing depression and it's been a consecutive 2 weeks. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed listening. I hope you find the information useful. Feel free to leave me comments or questions, or tell me a little bit about yourself and your story with depression and or anxiety. I'll definitely get back to any comments that you may leave. Thanks for listening.